And for more on this, joining us live on the broadcast is Democrat strategist Christopher Hale from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us on WION The World is One.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Mr. Hale, it's the final stretch, of course, for the presidential hopefuls. It's a crucial week. Biden's comments recently, which appeared to label Trump supporters as garbage, that sparked an uproar, with Kamala Harris now having to distance herself. She said, of course, that she will be a president for all Americans and she will respect those who disagree with her. Do you believe this will have any sort of a bearing on voter sentiments, or do you think at this stage in this race to the White House, voters have pretty much made up their mind?
I think it's very marginal at most. I actually think what happened on Sunday with a comic, as you had in the segment before, a comic in New York City at Madison Square Garden calling Puerto Rico an island of garbage. I think that actually is more resonant. There's 500,000 Puerto Rican voters in Pennsylvania. And I think that what Kamala Harris did really well and what Joe Biden did really well is after the comments, he himself clarified what he said, and she immediately distanced herself from the comments. I think that was actually very good damage control. I will say this, though. It was really smart of President Trump just a few hours ago to appear on a garbage truck with his logo on it, wear the vest of a garbage pickup person. I think that resonates. He's trying to hammer it home. He mentioned Hillary Clinton's deplorable comments. Those deplorable comments did cost her in 2016. And look, so does it have an effect on the margin of voters? It's really small. Yes. But this election, as I've said time and again, will be decided by just tens of thousands of voters throughout a few battleground states. So I think it could matter.
Christopher, and as you mentioned earlier as well, Trump was quick to use that garbage comment to his advantage. He's been trying to pull all stops to ensure that he carries out a counterattack on the Democratic camp, using it to his advantage instead of theirs. At this point, all opinion polls have pretty much had Harris and Trump neck to neck. How do you place the two camps? We're days away from D-Day now.
Look, if anyone is telling you they know who's going to win next Tuesday, probably should remove that person from your life because they're lying to you. It's just the reality of it is this is a 50-50 race. At this point, to offer anything other than that is witchcraft. It's sorcery. It's just not. There's no being able to tell more than that. I will say this. I think that if there's an advantage from my side, if there's an advantage for the Democrats and Kamala Harris, we have a very strong, and I've seen it in the flesh, ground operation that's built on years and years of work, decades of work, in fact. So in marginal races, campaigns matter. Good campaigns cannot cannot come back from a race where you're down 4 or 5 points. But a great campaign can bring you back from a point down or a tied race. So if Kamala Harris wins on Tuesday, particularly in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which probably is the key state, I think that great ground operation will be the reason why she gets over to the top.
Right. Also, of course, let's talk about the major issues for voters this time around. It's immigration, it's economy, and it's abortion rights. That being said, how do you think both nominees are positioned when it comes to these major issues going into the election?
Look, I think that Trump struggles to stay on topic. If this was a policy election, if policy drove the day, if Trump ran on policy alone, my party would not stand a chance. Those issues you named, the only one that we are winning on is abortion rights. We tried pretty hard to put that at the top of voters' minds. Trump has somewhat successfully distanced himself from the most stringent anti-abortion forces in his party. But his struggle to stay on message, to stay on policy, it gives us an opening. And one thing I will say, economic issues, Kamala Harris started this race down 15 points to Donald Trump, but there's been a strengthening economy in the United States. The inflation has slowed down significantly, and so she's actually almost tied on that issue. And they always say it's the economy, stupid. That's like a phrase, that's a catchphrase in American politics. And if it's the economy, stupid, the reality of it is this once again remains a 50-50 race.
Christopher Hale, thank you so much for joining us on World DNA, and I must say I really appreciate your candid and honest responses to all our questions. We'll get to know soon enough what happens on the 5th of November, and thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you soon.
Yes.
Thank you.